Williamson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukener certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.
Hello and welcome to what is almost the halfway stage of the 2024 FIM Sidecar Motocross World Championship. We're in the north of Poland in the historic city of Gdansk, a port city which has gone down in history as the centre of a revolution which basically started as a dockyard strike and became the birthplace of the Solidarity Union, the leader of which, Lech Wałęsa, then went on to become president of Poland. So, beautiful, beautiful architecture. It was completely rebuilt after World War II and is now a cultural and tourist centre. Alongside the water, ancient meets modern. It is truly, truly a wonderful place to visit. I can recommend it. The bars, the restaurants, and just about everything else in Gdansk, full of history, and you can see how the tourists flock in. What a place. But you do need good weather, and we've had fairly mixed weather leading up to the event, but Poland has had a sunny time, so hopefully we'll get dry weather for the motocross, which is only 10 minutes away from this historic place. Wouldn't you just like to be here? Well, we were, and boy, was it good. April seems such a long time ago now, but that's where the season kicked off, under the sunny skies of Portugal at the Alquidão track, just outside Torres Novas. It was an important event. Kick-starting the season, the Leelbardis boys, from the word go, took control. They were in dominant form. Would that prove to be the case for the rest of the season? Well, we're not yet halfway through, but certainly they've been good. In Herda, they took overall victory despite a strong challenge from Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. Others played their part as well. Brett Wilkinson had his first win in Herda. The sand proved to be testing, but Leelbardis boys stuck to the task and emerged from round two, still holding the red plate. In France, the Prunier brothers had a point to prove, and they did. They fought well, long and hard, and they and Koen Hermans did battle there, and it was at that point that the Leelbardis boys were to lose the red plate. Briefly to Koen Hermans when we moved on, but overall victory in Plomion went to the Pruniers. In Kremlin, well, the weather curtailed proceedings on the Saturday. We had to condense everything into one day's racing on the Sunday. There was no qualifying. It was all done on the warm-up lap. Conditions were tricky. But despite those conditions, the Leelbardis boys stuck to the task. Exciting moments. Tim Prumer did well at that weekend too. Tim Prumer and Rodolphe Le Breton were absolutely on fire in Kremlin, missing the overall result by just one single point. That must have been hard to take, Tim. You were so close.
Yeah, but I'm more happy about the good result we had. It was the first time on the podium for us. And yeah, now we leave some space to get better during the season, and maybe we can take overall this year.
And this race at Gdansk marks the halfway point in the season. By Sunday, you will be into the second half of the year. You've come so far in the first half. What can you do in the remaining rounds?
Yeah, I hope we can go better and have consistent results in the second half of the season. In the first half, in Portugal, we had the big crash. In the second race in Herde, Rodolphe take injury on his wrist, so we got one race with 0 points. In French race, we got one race with 0 points because of the engine. So yeah, Kramolin was the first time we get two solid heats, and I hope we can build on this and keep the pace in and yeah, take better results there.
You're now up to 6th in the title chase. Now, that must be more than you expected, really, given what you've just said.
Yeah, I think for all the bad luck, it's still a good result, but I think the speed is there and the material and the team, everything is set up to be better than 6th, but yeah, we had some bad luck. Other teams had also some bad luck, so we will see what the season brings on. Yeah.
Tim and Sem Lefrink are one of 4 brotherly combinations in the paddock this year, and they've been getting faster and faster and faster. Bearing in mind Sem is only 17 years of age, Tim the driver is 20. You seem to be playing catch up in many of the races, but your speed gets quicker as the race goes on.
Yeah, yeah. Every time it will be better, and yeah, the more we're riding, it will. Yeah, every time it goes better.
Is this your first time at the track in Gdansk?
No, last year we were also, but yeah, we like the track, and it's a hard pack track. Yeah, the first race, I think it was a good result, but the second race we had engine problems, so yeah, that was not so nice. But yeah, we like the track really.
You're now up to 7th place in the standings, and the guys in front not too far away. So what are you hoping for by the end of the season?
We hope for a P5, so yeah, we will all do for that.
It's time for our little track walk again. Here in Gdansk, we're not going to look at the whole track, obviously, but as much as anything, this gives us a chance to talk about what the track has to offer and also introduce you to individuals, riders. Glenn Janssens, of course, Marvin van Luken as passenger. They've got a big job to do this weekend. And the track itself, Glenn, you've been round, you've ridden it. How does it ride? Is it good?
Track is perfect with some big jumps, high speed. I think it's a perfect track for GP.
Is it wide enough? Because it seems to me that because it's fast, overtaking people, passing will be hard.
Right, it's not easy to overtake, but it's possible. Some places, like I think we were 4th in the start, and some laps we were 2nd, so it is possible.
Well, we might be getting wet here in a minute because, strange as it seems, they're now watering it, and yet there's a possibility it could rain on us.
Yeah, I hope it stays dry all night because they are a lot of watering now. But yeah, it seems weird for me.
Well, I suppose they know the track, we don't. We were here last year. You missed last year, but
yes,
we were here last year, and it seems to hold up very, very well. Off the start, I notice everybody seems to go to the right to get the inside, but if you don't get there first, you're in trouble, aren't you?
Yeah, it's 180 degrees turn, so it's important to be in the inside of the corner, and yeah, otherwise it gets stuck. So it's important to have a good place here in the start.
Okay then, the Group A qualifying race with 23 outfits in total, so it's a relatively small grid, and Leo Bardis is getting... Oh, look at Brunier, almost upside down. But who was that whizzing through? On the ads, Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson, number 13, the British crew. What a great start for them. Then it looks to me like it's Stefan Wires. Was that Stefan Wires in 3rd place? Looked like a good start for him, but what a start by Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson behind the Leo Bardis twins. The left-hand chair working well here, and they're hanging on to them as well. This is only the opening lap of a 20-minute plus 2-lap qualifying race. But away they go. That is Stefan Wires in 3rd place. The Lefrinks are there as well. The Lefrinks going really, really well. Stefan Wires 418, he and Han van Hal have been doing a good job together this season. But the Leo Bardis boys with the red plate back on again. They won it back in Kremlin. They come here with a horde of Latvian supporters. It's a 10-round competition this. By the end of the 2 races tomorrow, we will be exactly at the halfway stage. Brett Wilkinson there. Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard fighting their way through. They're alongside their compatriot, or they're getting close to their compatriot. Still, Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson going really, really well. Well, Josh and Noah Weinman, the German crew there as well. So over goes Brett Wilkinson, now ahead of the Pruniers, and the Pruniers will be fighting back
after that heart-stopping moment at the start where they got punted. The sidecar wheel was about a metre in the air and they were going straight across to the outside, and miraculously they missed everyone. A good start by Gert van Verven, who's now shadowing Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard as the Prunier boys desperately try to make up lost ground here. They were certainly in the first three when they got to the apex of the bend, but then it all went pear-shaped. Brett Wilkinson on the back of Prunier. What a battle this is, and it's only qualifying here. All about start line positions, except we now, as you know, those of you who follow this, have points for qualifying. You win the race, you get 5, and those points are applied immediately to the standings. Stefan Wyers, Han van Hal in the blue this year, and they're the Wyman boys in their orangey red, brick red can I call it, brick red shirts. The weather here on qualifying day, magnificent. There was overnight rain, but that's okay. The track is riding really, really well. But look at this battle now. These are for the places behind the Lille Bardis boys and Lefriks. This is a battle for third. Now who's going to get this third place here? Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard have made it through on the inside of Stefan Wyers and Han van Hal. So they are in the pound seats at the moment. The British crew, though, under pressure because the Pruniers are coming. The yellow shirts of the number 94 French champions, double French champions. It's only qualifying. You wouldn't believe it, the pace of the qualifying races. That was a great jump. Now Prunier has got past Stefan Wyers and he now is on the back of Brett Wilkinson. Still Mike Hodges fighting really, really well here. The Weinman boys are now on the case of Michael Hodges. Prunier. There's Mike Hodges, there's Prunier coming through on the inside of Stefan Wyers, with Brett Wilkinson now having been nudged back a little bit, still fighting back Brett Wilkinson in the thick of all this traffic. So he and Joe Millard still 5th in the championship, but they need to do something. Didn't have the best of rides in Kremlin. Well, the sun is out here, the track, and you saw Glenn Jansen's little comment on the track. He's riding well. There is room for overtaking. You've got to get close to overtake. There, Tom van der Lagermaat and Robin Kunst. It's a new pairing, and that passenger has moved up from a lower level, and he's doing really, really well. They're beginning to gel now. Brett Wilkinson has got Killian and Yvon Prunier for company. They've now broken the toe and they're moving away now from Stefan Wyers. And Mike Hodges now with Stefan Wyers breathing down his neck. Mike Hodges, Ryan Henderson, left-hand chair, fantastic. But Stefan Wyers through on the inside. So that is Stefan Wyers moving up a place into what looks like FIM. Now Cam Prunier muscle his way. Well, he's alongside and he's done it. He's got that Zabel ahead of the AMS of Brett Wilkinson. Out in front by something like 8 seconds at the moment as we watch Tim and Sem Lefring in second place, but out in front is Daniel and Bruno Lille Bardis on the crest of a wave, the Latvians, there's no doubt about it. But Prunier's up to third now. Can they close down Tim and Sem Lefring? They're pulling Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard with them. But there's the race leader. The red plate, 101. The air horns, the flags. The Latvians, of course, this is the nearest these boys will get to home this season. North Poland not being 1,000,000 miles, but still 800 kilometres from where these guys live in Latvia. But a lot of local support here. Not a massive crowd here on qualifying day. A bit disappointing actually, but those that are on the advantage points, or the vantage points, are getting a good view of what's going on here. And the rest of these guys funneling round. Still Mike Hodges there, 13. He and Ryan Henderson doing a terrific job holding off the chasing pack. Tom van der Lagermaat is in there, and Weinmans as well. And Stefan Weyers leading. There's Sven Visseling. Sven Visseling. This year with Nicky de Bruyne. Only 12 outfits started this qualifying Group A race. And Joshua and Noah Weinman, they've improved a lot, but they haven't improved enough to get where they need to be. But back with the race leaders now, this is looking like a done deal, because the gap now is something like approaching 10 seconds that the Leeuwardis twins have. Oh, Gert van Verben pushing home, so that's going to be a back row start for him. He and Ivar van der Wiel, the ignominy of having to push the number 11 outfit home. That doesn't happen very often to Van Verben, the TM having given up the ghost. But cruising round now in the closing stages, Daniel and Bruno Leeuwardis, the checkered flag awaits them, qualifying Group A to the Leeuwardis twins. Job done. That's a good start to the weekend for them. That will get them pole position for the choice of gate tomorrow. Lefrinks come home, and the Pruniers close them down, but not close enough. Third place then for Kilian Evon Prunier, but they'll be good. Well, that's how they finish this, and that will set every other place now. We'll put them on the grid. So Lefrinks will start third, Pruniers will start fifth, and so on. Brett Wilkinson, seventh choice of the gate. Stefan Weyers, Mike Hodges, well done, lads. Brilliant ride. Ahead of the Weinmans, Visseling, Tom van der Lagermaat, and Tobias Hertfelder and Taim Kato in the 18-year-old passenger. Such a talent he is.
I feel happy with to the place. We have ride what we can, but this is what we can.
It's one of your best results, I remember, so far. So the plan for tomorrow?
I hope the podium, but top 5 I'm happy.
From my point of view, the start was pretty good at the beginning. We did a job, but unfortunately at the top of the straight, I didn't see him coming, but he took our front wheel. We almost crashed, and I hurt my arm. So the beginning of the race was a little bit difficult because of my arms, and very hard to pass here on the track. But as the race was coming, we found a new flow and some lines, and we were feeling better and better, and we were coming back on nothing. So the experience is very good for tomorrow, so we will see tomorrow.
I'm with Marian Zupa, who's the president of the Gdansk Auto-Moto Club. We're in a room which is absolutely filled with history. Marian, when did the club first begin? When did it start?
Mój start w tym klubie było w 1974 roku. Wcześniej byłem w klubie wojskowym w Bydgoszczy. Natomiast jeżeli kluby wojskowe zostały rozwiązane, przybyłem do Gdańska i od tego czasu, od 1974 roku do dnia dzisiejszego jestem członkiem i pracuję w tym klubie. Również wcześniej byłem zawodnikiem.
There is a trophy in the middle there, which is obviously much older than 1977. How old is that trophy?
Pierwsze trofeum Gdańskiego Automotoklubu to jest z 1946 roku. Rok po wojnie na gruzach Gdańska odbył się pierwszy wyścig i to po prostu jest pierwszy puchar z tego czasu.
When did the club first start running sidecar motocross? Can you remember? What year?
Nie, no jako zawodnicy w tym Gdańskim Autoklubie nie ma ani w Polsce. Natomiast organizowaliśmy Mistrzostwa Świata Sidecarów w Gdańsku po raz pierwszy w 2009 roku. W 2010 roku były we Wschowie, po prostu w południowo-zachodniej części Polski, i w 2011 roku kolejny raz organizowaliśmy w Gdańsku te zawody. I spowodowało to, że kibicom się bardzo to podobało jako widowisko. Rzeczywiście nikt tego wcześniej nie oglądał, dlatego też cały czas byłem namawiany, żeby te zawody z powrotem wróciły do Gdańska. No i po spotkaniu z Martinem, jeden rok, drugi rok, skłonił mnie, może namówił, oczywiście długo nie musiał, no i te zawody trafiły z powrotem do Gdańska.
Group B then, same number, well, 11 I think we've got this time. Look at the left-hand side because that's where the quick riders come from. And who's he going to be? Tim Prumer's third from the end. Tim Prumer didn't get the whole shot, but Koen Hermans did. Benny Weiss and Patrick Schneider, the number 19. And there, Gert Gordiev, but he got pushed wide. Tim Prumer sorting into second place. He and Rodolphe Le Breton on the case of Koen Hermans with Marvin van Lucken and Glenn Janssen. Then it's Benny Janssen. Then it's Jason Van Dalen, the 723 yellow-shirted pair with the red from Udgard Zabel mounted. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider, 91 from Austria. But the AMS of Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart, already have pulled out from the Zabel of Marvin van Lucken, the reigning and defending champion. Tim Prumer, Rodolphe Le Breton going so strongly in Kremlin. Missed the overall victory by just 1 point, but they're very happy with the way their season is progressing. They're leading. Jason Van Dalen has now got himself up to 4th, past Benny Weiss. Very fast track. The dust's already kicking up despite the overnight rain. Davy Sanders and Janos Stegmans, the all-Belgian crew, number 9. Davy Sanders here with family, en famille. Brilliant to see these guys at this speed. There is no national class, as you heard Marian Zupa, our club president, say no national sidecars in Poland, which is such a shame because back in my day we used to meet the old Polish team. They'd be running something like a 500cc Jawa Speedway engine back in those days. Them and the East Germans. Tim Prumer then, number 17. Jason Van Dalen, Davy Sanders, Benny Weiss settled now because Sanders has muscled his way past. But you can see what we're talking about. It's a one-line track at the moment. It's just so fast. You've got to catch somebody before you can even think about a passing move. And then when you get on their back, where do you go? Sanders going through. Out at the front, though, Koen Hermans. Ben van den Bogart absolutely flying now. They've already opened up something like a 15-second lead over Marvin van Lucken, who's now got his way past Tim Prumer into second place. Van Lucken and Glenn Janssens, he can see that he's got to keep scoring points, not just in the race, but in the qualifying races as well. Koen Hermans on for 5 points here. Marvin van Lucken, if he brings it home in second, will be on 4 points. But Koen Hermans is playing a little bit of catch-up after losing the red plate, so he's still got work to do. But we see so many times these guys just keep plugging away, and there it is, victory for Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. That's as good as it gets. 5 points and second place on the start grid tomorrow. Waiting now, this is some 22 seconds, the gap, before we see Marvin van Lucken. So his lap time of 1:47.5, he was losing about 2/10 every lap to Koen Hermans, but he had to fight through from not a very good start. But it was second place and third for Tim Prumer and Rodolphe Le Breton, 4th place for Jason Van Dalen, 5th for Davy Sanders. Whew, that was a breathless qualifying race, wasn't it? Group B then, Hermans, Van Lucken, Prumer, Van Dalen, Sanders, he saw it all the way through. Benny Weiss dropped off the pace a bit, but he headed home. Adrian Petter and Joel Hoffman, who've come into a rich vein of form. Gert Gordiev, Patrick Hengster, Selina Jan, our only young lady, and Jakob Jensen, with Dion Rietman out for the weekend to stay fit. Doing a good job with the Dane. Danish, not the British flag there, but it's Jensen, the Dane. What can they do tomorrow? We will see when we get there tomorrow.
Well, I really enjoyed this track. We did also right here last year, and they make some changes, a bit more wide, but so it's a lot better now. I think for passing it's better, and yeah, the start was good. We took the whole shot, and yeah, we had first a little bit struggles with the lines, and then we found good lines, and then yeah, then it was good to ride.
Welcome back to Gdansk, this beautiful dockyard city in the north of Poland. We're here for the 5th round of the 2024 World Sidecar Motocross Championship. And that will mark, at the end of this day, will mark the halfway stage of the season. This is a fabulous city, made famous, of course, when the Solidarity Union brought an end to communist rule here in Poland, and also as a result of President Gorbachev of the Soviet Union being a much more open-minded and lenient man, and that brought an end to the Soviet Union as we know it. So it's earned its place in history, and what a magnificently historical place it is, preserving the dockyard culture, full of restaurants and bars, and when the weather's nice, there is no better place to be. And we took a good look round as well. Lots of tourists here, and why wouldn't you? How magnificent is this? It's only about 10 minutes down the road from the motocross track, and that's, of course, where we are for race day. 2 Grand Prix races on the programme, but let's just savour now this waterfront side where ancient meets modern. If you get time, visit Gdansk. It is truly, truly spectacular. Out of the track, presentation day, when the crowd gets to meet the officials, the riders, the people who make the event happen, delegates from the FIM, 1 or 2 nice promotional ladies as well, always very polite, always very pretty. And the fans, of course, love this bit because they get autographs, they get up close and personal. This is not MotoGP, this is not Formula 1, this is Sidecar Motocross, where you can really, really shake hands with the teams and all the people who might be your heroes. Selina Jan, Patrick Hengster, the only lady in the competition, and what a delightful girl she is. The Weidman brothers, Joshua and Noah. One of 4 sets of brotherly competitors. Fans queuing 10 deep. That's who they come to see. The Leeuwardis boys, closest to home that they will get on this tour, just 17 years of age. Defending champion Marvin van Leeuwen with Glenn Janssens. He knows he has to up his game here. The Lefferink brothers, the Prunier brothers. Everyone smiling. Ben van den Bogart, passenger to Koen Hermans, Tim Prumer with Rodolphe Le Breton, Adrien Petter and Joel Hoffman. Been heavy rain overnight, the track is quite heavy, it's still raining now, but the Leeuwardis boys quickest in practice. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart, they'll have the first pick of the gate, those 2 teams. Lefferink, Van Leeuwen, Prunier, Tim Prumer. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard, well, they were not too bad. 7th is no disgrace in this company, but they know they need to do something special in the race. Stefan Wires, Davy Sanders and Janusz Stegmans rounding out the top 10. 22 crews in all. Mike Hodges, Ryan Henderson had a terrific qualifying Group A. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider did the same in Group B. Weinmann's there, Petter, Visseling, Gordiev. Tom van der Lagerbout, Robin Konst getting better, but Robin Konst, having stepped up from a lower level, is finding this competition something different. And you would, wouldn't you? Gert van Ver, when we saw him retire, he's bog last. Well, the viewing gallery is full. Race 1 coming up. Last minute nerves. Some of them have got their wet jackets on. The last minute preparation, that's to give a bit more grip for the passenger, but it has its price. It gives you bigger blisters as well. But the rain is still coming down, not heavily though, it's more mist with big drops in it. As we approach race 1, it's only just round the corner, but the Leeuwardis boys will go to the far side of the grid alongside this pair. Hermans, van den Bogart. Last minute nerves jangling. Immaculately prepared, everyone. Waiting for race 1, this all-important race, which is moments away. The left foot, boys, we're getting close now. The 1 minute board. When you see 15 seconds, you know it's game on. Marvin looking serious. The last minute gardening taking place. And we are nearly ready for action. It's going to be very tense with 2 rows going into that first turn. Here we go then. Look over to the left. Leobardis and Koen Hermans. Down goes the gate. Hermans got a really good start, slotting in behind. That was a sneaky move by Gert van Verven, who followed Hermans through. And what an amazing start. Van Verven's right there from the second row. But Leobardis' lead. Leobardis ahead of Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. And it's Marvin van Luken and Glenn Janssens from Gert van Verven and Ivar van den Wiel. Sensational sneaky move by the big Dutchman. He's been around a long time. He knows what it takes. Cracking start though by the Leobardis twins. Absolutely brilliant. Left ranks further down there. Everybody getting filled in. It's pretty muddy. It's still raining, but not heavily. 1 or 2 umbrellas still up. Benny Weiss there coming over the top. The Prunier boys didn't get the best of starts. Jason Van Dalen. Oh, Koen Hermans has stopped. Something happened there. He either stalled it or he killed the switch on the cutout, but he fired it up, slammed something on the top, got neutral, pressed the starter, and away he went again. So a momentary stall there for Koen Hermans. Ben van den Bogart must have been thinking, oh no, not again. This thing has stopped so many times, but they're back and going. Tim Prumer, Rodolphe Breton, 17 behind the Weinman brothers. Not for long, up the inside with a bit of a nudge on the sidecar wheel. Tim Prumer has some catching up to do. Coming away from Kremlin, up to 6th in the table. Jason Van Dalen now ahead of Koen Hermans and Ben van den Bogart. They weren't, but they are now, because that stop by Koen Hermans dropped him back behind the Belgian-Dutch pairing. Loic van der Putten, of course, in the chair with Jason Van Dalen. Highly competent passenger, seen his name around a few times. The Latvian flags being waved vigorously here, the air horns, the cheering, all for their boys who are not too far from home. This is the closest they get, and this is the biggest number of Latvian fans we've seen at a round this year. 10 rounds, we are on round 5. And we go from here in 2 weeks' time to the sand in Lommel. That would be a very different set of conditions. Look at Koen Hermans having a look through. Oh, great move. Great move on the inside of Jason Van Dalen, who took the outside line. Koen Hermans slewed it round, got the power on the AMS. It bit, and he was through. Clean as a whistle. What a move that was. So 1 place further up for Koen Hermans. He and Ben van den Bogart then must have... well, they gave away so much again when they lost the red plate in Herder. We're riding now with the race leaders on the final lap. So they're showboating now. This is a highlight show. These are 30 minutes plus 2 lap races normally, but we cannot cram it all in to a 52-minute highlight show. What you get is the good bits, and this for them is a very good bit. Daniel and Bruno Leobardis having a nice clean race at the front, bringing it round. The marshals getting the bird's eye view. They can really spectate in style. So the red plate at this rate is staying with the Leobardis boys unless some misfortune befalls them in race 2. But right here and now in race 1, they're doing it in style, and just look at the way they ride. So mature, so polished, been following the sport since they were toddlers, and they're on the run-in now to the flag. Just round this corner, we'll see the checkered flag, and there it is! Victory race 1 for Daniel and Bruno Leobardis. Second place for Marvin van Luken, but he's a good bit down. He's almost 13 seconds off the lead. Here he comes. Marvin van Luken and Glenn Janssens bring it round. ahead of Benny Weiss and Patrick Schneider. The Austrians coming now, the 91 crew. And Prunier boys, in the yellow with the white helmets, got it up to 4th from a not very good start, it has to be said. Confirmation. Wilbardis, Van Lukenen, Weiss and Prunier, you saw that. Kuhneman's up to 5th. He would have had a stronger start. 2nd was nailed on for him, but it didn't happen. Vandala, Van Verven, what a start for them. And they didn't drop behind Brett Wilkinson, who was plugging away ahead of Tim Primmer, and Mike Hodges there, another top 10 finish. Magnificent weekend for them. Michael Hodges and Ryan Henderson. Fantastic result for the British crew. All on the start, and they knew what they had to do, and they did it well. The points go all the way down to 20th, so there you go. And these points are important. They're all fighting for the title, every single one of them. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard, got a bit of catching up to do. Keep plugging away, boys, you always do. Prunier's there, what can they do in race 2? I wonder.
Benny Weiss, 3rd place in the race 1 in Poland. How did you like the race track? And it's good to see you back here on the points.
Crazy race. We had a perfect start. The whole race on 3rd place, and we found a good rhythm. And the race is over, and we finished 3rd, first heat podium. So wow, great.
It's a good sign to see you on the big points again. So what's the plan for the race 2?
Race 2, the same plan. Hopefully it works, and yeah, great.
How was the race from your point of view?
I think our race was not so bad with the 2nd place, but I think we need those little percent to close the gap with the leaders, and but they push really hard, and we could not close the gap. It was the highest possible per now.
Did the soft rain influence the track conditions? How was it to race in the soft rain?
Well, it was slippery, especially with a 2-stroke. It's hard to find grip, but Libat is also 2-stroke, so no excuse.
Yeah, we are so happy. We finally got the whole shot. First time in this series, in the World Championship. And just led the race. We made one mistake and Marvin come close, but for 3 laps I pushed really hard, so we make a gap again and just kept riding in our rhythm.
It looks like your fan base is following you on all races, and it looks like on the home GP everywhere, but here it looks like the real one. How is it?
Yeah, it's the closest one to Latvia, so yeah, a lot of fans come, and we can hear it every corner, the fans, and it's super good. They motivate also us, I think, it's really good that they come.
Well, what a performance. And as Glenn Hansen said, the 2-stroke wasn't getting a grip, but in fair play, the mega 2-stroke of the Wilbardis boys did everything they asked of it. And more possibly, that we'll never know. But they do. They know the machine that's under them, and they know their capability. They certainly can ride. And at 17 years of age, Glenn Jansen's looking at that as well. He's thinking, what have we got to do to beat these boys? Tense moments ahead of race 2. It's coming up. Don't go away, because race 2 is going to be another cracker, and it's a bit drier. Can Gert van Verven do it again from Route 2? Can Gordiov do it? He has a good start. Can these boys do it? Well, you wouldn't bet against them, would you? That's for sure. This is such a fabulously interesting sport. Mind games, 15 seconds away. Race 2 coming up. Okay, the gate's gone, away they go again, and from this side it's Wilbardis with Jason Vandala strolling into 2nd place. Oh, and a huge crash. Benny Weiss right in the middle of that. Tim Primmer at the back, but somebody clouted Tim Primmer halfway down the start-finish straight, which caused him to be in that position. somebody gave him a mighty whack. But Tim Pruma, Rodolphe Le Breton are not in the running now. They are struggling out of the action at the moment. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider were caught right in the middle of it, and that's Tim Pruma. Tim has taken a massive thump to the left thigh. This is serious. This is serious for Tim Pruma. Lil Bardis, though, at the front. Jason Van Dalen going with him. Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. Nice and high for them. Brett Wilkinson, Joe Millard in a strong fourth place. Having to get the medics here to Tim Pruma. Tim Pruma is in real distress here. They can't get him off the bike. He's in real distress. That is an unhappy sight. Marvin van Lukenen, Glenn Janssens behind Kilian and Yvon Prunier. On the inside of Mike Hodges and Ryan Henderson, who got another cracking start. Boy, that boy Hodges can get it off the line. Terrific to see the British crews riding so strongly. So happy that we have ambassadors from the UK doing this championship and doing us proud. Says a lot for the standard of sidecar motocross in the UK that we can deliver guys who go like this. Brett Wilkinson will go from here to Scotland for yet another round of the British Championship. Brunier's Marvin van Lukenen closing up now on Adrian Petter and Joel Hoffman, the number 20 red clad. They've been riding very well. They were strong in the German Championship recently, and Prunier is through on the inside. Made that look easy, but it was a good move. Now, can Van Lukenen repeat it? Yes. So Adrian Petter has lost 2 places in one fell swoop as Marvin van Lukenen and Glenn Janssens, and now he's got Gert van Verven, Ivan van der Wiel breathing down his neck. But the Prunier-Van Lukenen battle, very evenly matched, both on Zabel. But following that same line, we keep saying it time and time again, when the conditions are wet like this, there's only one track. Ahead of them are Tim and Sem Lefferink. And there are the Lefferinks on the right-hand side, behind Gordiev and Stenitsu, the all-Estonian pair, the 151 team. Prunier's Van Lukenen, Lefferink in the red, and then Gert van Verven chasing these guys down. But Tim and Sem Lefferink, I said in the interview, they get stronger as the race goes on. Let's see if they're as good as their word. Around the outside, they're having a look at Gordiev. They sense they can do it here. They're now alongside, and they do Gert Gordiev over the jump there. So that's put Gert Gordiev between them and Kilian and Yvon Prunier, which will not be good news for Marvin van Lukenen because he's still got to get in touch with these guys. Didn't get the best of starts, and you cannot work from the back here. Back at the front, though. The Lille Bardis boys looking so very strong. Red plate will firmly stay with them, and they will enhance their championship lead at the halfway stage. In 2 weeks' time, we go to the deep sand of Lommel. Will it be a different kettle of fish there, I wonder, for the Lille Bardis boys? Although they showed us in Herda, they're perfectly capable of riding the sand, and they admit freely to liking all sorts of going. Are they on their victory lap yet? Checkered flag is ready. Here we go then. Victory for Daniel and Bruno Lille Bardis. The number 8 crew coming over, that's Jakob Jensen and Dion Rietman. Good to see him back on track. Second place for Koen Hermans, Ben van den Bogart. Third for Brett Wilkinson and Joe Millard. What a result for them, and here they come. The left-hand chair of the British crew. Jason Van Dalen, Leif van der Putten, and the Pruniers. The overall classification then, a handsome maximum 50 to the Lille Bardis. They're the GP winners. Hermans, Van Lukenen, that's the podium on the overall. Kilian Prunier just missing out. Brett Wilkinson, well, that's okay, 33 points. Still will hold on to his 5th place. Tim Pruma did not make the start. He was injured, so he won't move on 6th place at all. In fact, he might well drop back in the standings. Vandala Benny Weiss is on the radar here. What a fantastic weekend for the Austrians. Gert van Verven, Ivan van der Wiel, despite qualifying bog last, 8th overall. They have to be pleased with that. Gert Gordiev and Michael Hodges again. Ryan Henderson, another good ride, got them in the top 10. Well done, chaps. I'm not partisan, am I? Not much. Well, what a weekend here in Poland. What a terrific, terrific race we've seen. The Ilmardis boys will go to Lommel with the red plate and an enhanced lead. Koen Hermans will deliver for sure in the deep sand if the AMS WSP keeps going.
Marvin, third place overall in Gdańsk. What to say about it?
Yeah, first race I had much arm pump, and second race looks good in the start, and then I don't know, it was like a sandwich, and yeah, almost from last place, and then we tried to catch back, but I jumped one time too short, and yeah, the jump was hard, but okay, 7th place, second race was high as possible.
It looked like it's almost impossible to overpass from our point of view.
Yeah, for sure it's not easy on this track, but that's for everyone the same. So yeah, we did what we can doing, and yeah, we still finished. So that's most important in this season. So yeah, let's keep building, and hopefully better next race.
Yeah, it was not the result where we hoped for. Yesterday we had a really perfect race. We showed our speed, and I think we were the fastest of the day. Today was another day. Lot of rain, so it made the track a little bit more difficult for passing. First heat we had a good start, and yeah, the kill switch came out, stone from Ilmardis I think. Then we had to go from 8, and it was impossible to come back. And second heat, yeah, third in the start, and yeah, we had a big fight, 20 minutes long with Jason van Dalen. He kept his line, and we had to wait for a small mistake before we could take over. After that, yeah, we secured our second place. Yeah, at least we had 2 finishes.
Yeah, I think the track is made for us, also for the Mag engine. Yeah, we first time took both call shots and yeah, led the race. Yeah, it's a perfect weekend, winning quali and winning both races, so we're super happy.
If somebody tells you before the season that in the half you will be leading the championship with the red plate, like with quite comfortable points enough, what would you say?
Before the season I wouldn't believe it, yeah, but after Portugal we know that we got the speed, so yeah, I think we can hold it till then.
So the championship is on the table?
Definitely.
Good luck then.
Well, can you imagine? Terrific. That's the lead they have now. 18 points ahead of Van Lukenen, who is defending his title. He's got 5 rounds, 10 races to find something extra. You could tell by his face, his body language, he knows he's just not quick enough. Not by much, but he's got to find a bit more somewhere. Prunier, they're thrilled with third, I can tell you. They were looking for a top 5. They're third at the halfway stage. But Hermans is fast. And if it all holds together for Koen Hermans, he'll be there. Brett Wilkinson, still pretty safe in 5th. But Van Dalen is getting quicker all the time. Poor Tim Prumer dropped 2 places in the overall. He was taken to hospital. We wish him well, but he'll be back. He's a tough cookie. He took a big knock. Lefrietse in 7th. Benny Weiss, Patrick Schneider, very much on the radar. Ahead of Gert van Verven rounding out the top 10. He and Iver van der Wiel. Klaas Hack, so much experience between them. Well, that's it for Gdansk. We've had a wonderful time here. We hope you enjoyed this. We move on in 2 weeks' time from here to Lommel, the deep sand in Belgium. Meanwhile, there's a weekend off. Apart from Brett Wilkinson, he's off to a British Championship in Scotland. From me, Barry Nutley, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed it. Catch us again.
We never stop, so going when you finish. And even when we bleed, still believe that we can win this. We got what's underneath, you're all about that image. We never even stop at the top, no limits. Champions, and we're the champions. And we're the champions. And we're the champions. So bring it on.
Johansson is 10 times the world champion. Bax and Stupilis, they've done it again. Unbelievable. Marvin van Lukenes certainly deserves the red plate. And what an incredible sport this is. Fast, high and spectacular. Unbelievable.